Dipalis for that authentic Indian vegetarian cuisine. Our expert chefs specialize in creating pure vegetarian dishes from a selection of mouth-watering snacks to tasty main meals. Dipian Cakes specialize in eggless vegetarian cakes made to order for weddings, birthdays and special occasions. Sit back and enjoy the ambience and scrumptious food served by our friendly staff at our warm 50-seater refurbished restaurant with disabled access and free car park nearby. Dipali's 1A, Alfred Road, Sparkhill,
गुड इवनिंग दोस्तों, नमस्ते, अस्सलाम वालेकुम ते बड़ी ही प्यार भरी सत श्री अकाल। हमेशा की तरह जगदीप अपने सितारे प्रोग्राम के थोड़ी सेवा विच हाजिर है। अज का प्रोग्राम कुछ असी नवा चीज़ नवियां चीज़ां पा रहे हैं। जिस तरह हमेशा साढ़े कोई सिंगर होंदे है, कोई राइटर होंदे है, कोई पोइट होंदे है, किस तरह दे कोई प्रोड्यूसर्स होंदे है। लेकिन जो अज असी थोड़े नाल मुलाकात करान जा रहे हैं, एक थिएटर दी लाइफ किस तरह दी हुंदी है, थिएटर च किस तरह उत्थे ड्रामे प्ले किए जाते हैं, कौन कौन कोरियोग्राफर हुंदा है, कौन कौन डिज़ाइनर हुंदा है, कौन स्क्रिप्ट ले करदा है, कौन ऑन द होल ऑर्गेनाइज करदा है। सो अज साडे कोल दो तीन कलाकार आएंगे ਜਿਹੜੇ कि अलग अलग प्ले दे विच अलग अलग तरह के ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं। लेकिन जो सब तो पहला अज मेरे को पहुँचे हुए ने उन्हों का मैं तारुफ करावांगी। लेकिन बड़े ही मंझे लगते हैं थिएटर दे लाइफ दे विच, ते उन्हां नाल गलबात करांगी कि उन्होंने थिएटर दी लाइफ किस तरह शुरू की और कित्थे तक पहुँचे हुए ने, किस तरह के प्ले वो डिज़ाइन करते हैं और उन्हां नाल गल करन जावांगे। उन्हां दा नाम है कीथ Khan. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You know, Apne Sitaray means, I told you, our stars. So you are one of my star today.
Thank you.
So how long you have been doing these theatre things, designing the plays and all
I
that?
think I've been doing it for about 20 years.
20 years? My God, that's
I
great.
did the first Bollywood musical on stage back in 1991.
Okay.
Which was called Moti Roti Patli Chunni.
What is it?
Moti Roti Patli Chunni.
Moti Roti Patli
Chunni.
Chunni.
There
What
you
a
go.
name! What a combination with the clothes and food.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So that was a very big show back in I think 91 and 93. And that was at Stratford East, and that we had a very good cast, but it had the actor Nitish Bharadwaj at that point, who was Krishna in the Mahabharat.
Mahabharat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's funny because then this show, which is called Wow Wow Girls, is coming back, and it's in the same theatre.
Theatre. Okay.
But this one I'm just designing. That one I had directed and pulled the whole thing
All
together.
right.
So
दोस्तों, I mean, कीथ खान ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ कि ये डिज़ाइनर ने फॉर द प्रोजेक्ट, ਜਿਹੜਾ नवा प्रोजेक्ट ਇਹਨਾਂ ने शुरू किया है, उसका नाम है वावा गर्ल्स.
That's right.
It's the name of the new project. They are going to work on it. लेकिन जिन्ने चेर ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ दूसरे आंदे ने डायरेक्टर एंड कोरियोग्राफर, लेकिन ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ मैं पूछांगी कित्थे ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ जन्म होया, कित्थों ਉਹਨਾਂ ने इस आर्ट ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ आए, किस तरह शुरुआत की, ताकि दोस्तों जे तुसी भी ਇਹਨਾਂ चीज़ां च थिएटर ਦੇ ਵੱਲ इंटरस्ट रखते हो, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ कुछ बैकग्राउंड तो पता लगेगा, अगर थोड़ी कोशिश भी कामयाब हो सकती है। लेकिन इस प्रोग्राम ਵਿੱਚ थोड़ा स्वागत भी करांगे, जी आया ਨੂੰ कहांगे, जी सदके, जी वारी, जिथे भी प्रोग्राम देख रहे हो ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਨੰਦ ਹੀ ਆਏਗਾ, क्योंकि इस प्रोग्राम ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਕਲਾਕਾਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੁੰਨੇ ਆ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਦਿਲ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਾਂਝੀਆਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਰੂਬਰੂ ਅਸੀਂ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ, ਮੈਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਸੁਣਿਓ। Where were you born first?
I was born in London.
London?
Yeah, but
Okay.
my family are from Trinidad, which is in the Caribbean.
All right.
And so my creative side, as you know, I'm sure you're aware, there's a very large Indian population in the Caribbean.
That's
both
right,
in
yeah.
Jamaica and in
Jamaica,
Trinidad, and Trinidad, which is where my family is from. And
Actually, you know, I know even in India there are so many families from Jamaica.
yes, it makes sense. Makes
You
sense.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew few families, they were from Jamaica. We always used to think, oh, it's only Jamaica people lives in Jamaica. No, but our Asian families, our Asian families are everywhere.
Well, I mean, if you
You
think,
name it.
Yes, yes. Well, if you think about the Caribbean, the only people that should be there are Arawaks and Caribs. So even the people who were sent from West Africa as slaves were then replaced with indentured Indians in the 1850s.
All right.
So we have a long tradition of being moved to different parts of the world, East Africa, the Caribbean, South Africa, Fiji, you name it. There are lots of places in the world where
So your parents, they were from Jamaica?
They were from Trinidad.
Trinidad.
Yes.
And you born here?
I'm born here.
So they moved here in London?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
They came here for education. They came
Okay.
here to, yes. So
Then
that's
how did you started this sort of
I
creativity?
started because I used to make clothes back in the day.
Okay.
And
Design the clothes.
design and make, yeah. And then I also designed carnival,
All right.
like Notting Hill Carnival
Yeah,
and Trinidad
carnivals.
Carnival, like Brazil and Trinidad. And basically putting those skills together is
Okay.
what led me into doing this. But the main thing was really that at the time when I started, there was very, very little
Artists.
artists, especially for Asian audiences.
Okay.
There was very, very little, and certainly nothing for people from this country. There was a lot of stuff that was maybe Bollywood, or from Pakistan or from Sri Lanka, but nothing actually indigenous Asian
artists
from
UK.
UK.
Okay.
And actually back in the time there was a lot more. There was Talvin Singh, there was a variety of other projects that were going on that now don't seem to have happened. But this is a new project and an attempt in a story to bring some of that a project that I think is for this country.
Okay. So when you were young, did you think that I should do these, all designing the things, or you really did the theater yourself, dramas or anything?
I didn't do anything like that. No, I came
No.
to this as an artist. I used to basically I designed very big projects.
Projects. Okay.
And so I didn't come to this like a theatre person.
All right.
I came to this because I wanted to make something for a big audience.
Big audience.
So I
okay.
started making very spectacular shows. So I ended up doing for example, the Manchester Commonwealth Games. I was the director of design on that project. So I like things that are very big and popular.
All right.
And not necessarily
So from
theatre.
small business,
Yes.
designing clothes,
To
you
very large.
turn very
Yeah.
big audience for big
Yes,
audience.
yes,
you know.
yes.
And,
And then now back to small with this play. Well, it's not small.
so
it's
this play is not very big project.
it's big. I mean, it's big. It's
in other words,
it has a cast, I think, of about 14 people.
14 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's been specially commissioned by Sadler's Wells Theatre and Theatre Royal Stratford East. Sadler's Wells is in North London, and it's a dance speciality place, and Theatre Royal Stratford East is very community.
Well, we will talk about this project
they come, yeah,
again, separate, but I would like to know the first for any project, which first project you did design?
The first thing I did was a big project called Flying Costumes, Floating Tombs, actually, which was based on a festival called Husay that we have in Trinidad.
All right.
And that festival is derived from the commemoration around Muharram in Trinidad. So in Trinidad, it's taken on this whole other dimension where people construct these amazing tazias from all sorts of paper and polystyrene and amazing things. I'd never seen anything like it. And when I started to pull this, what I wanted to do was a big project in this country. And I used the form of the tazia, and I made these massive sculptures that hung off cranes.
All right.
So they were like 80 or 90 feet tall, and they were very, very large structures. And in order to create
80, 90 feet.
yeah, they were
My
really big.
God,
yeah, yeah.
really big.
I was trying to get the world's biggest costumes, was what I was trying to do.
Oh,
So around these costumes, I made like a show that had lots of music and dance.
All right.
because otherwise there was no reason for people to come and see these things. So the show was derived, I don't know, the show was sort of based around Muharram, the way it's commemorated in different parts of the world.
All right.
So, you know, it's in all sorts of different forms. And there are lots of that piece had about 140 people.
140 people.
Yeah, in the cast of that show. And there was a lot of dancing, and it was a lot of fun. All sorts of things. It was really big and
So
fun.
do you get help to do
for
all
those,
these?
For those,
so
I
you
worked,
just designed, then you got
no,
helpers
well, for these, I worked with lots of community people. I worked with lots of other artists. I always try and work in collaboration with people.
All right.
So I worked with lots of other artists, such as Ali Zaidi, who I used to work with on an organisation, and then we had a team of 6 dancers who, in fact, one of the dancers is now, she's now in Coronation Street, Shobi Gulati. She's one of the leads.
That's
she was
great.
in that project back then, and she was doing all of the stuff with all the young people. It was great.
Young people. That's great.
It was really good.
I mean, when you design for all the artists, do you think that director tell you which sort of design do they want, or
Yeah, you collaborate.
or you do yourself?
A bit of both.
Bit of both.
It depends. Sometimes, depending if it's like the Manchester, like the big stadium stuff. Often it's not the director. It's often technical.
All right.
You know, like you have to with those things like Olympic ceremonies. You know, you have to make something that can cover the field in 4 hours.
Okay.
You know, you have to think about the way it's put there as well as just what it looks like. So there's a lot of technical things that you decide.
So were you
know.
involved with the Olympics?
Yes,
Oh, you were along. Oh, that's
I was
great.
I was the head of culture for London 2012
Okay.
from the bid, and I helped with the bid process of the Olympic Games, and I was there with the Cultural Olympiad as head of culture until I left, which was about 2 years ago.
All right.
And I left because it was very arts based, and I'm very much more culturally based. So I was interested in digital stuff. I'm interested in young people, in technology, in fashion, and a lot of that happens around where the Olympics are taking place.
That's
in
right,
East
yeah.
London. It's the heart of the UK fashion industry. There's amazing design stuff going on there. There's some fantastic architecture. So my program is very centered around, very locally centered.
Were you involved with the Queen Jubilee as well?
No, I did the Golden Jubilee.
Golden Jubilee.
I did the Queen's Golden Jubilee. I did the Commonwealth section of that in 2002.
All right.
So I staged that parade, actually, yes. And this year, actually, I just did this parade for Hackney in the swing, and that had we brought over, I think, 38 people from Brazil.
All right.
As well, just to really get that carnival feeling going in that project as well.
And who does the funding when you do
Oh, that's
these
very,
projects?
very tricky. Very tricky.
Because people would like to
Yes,
know,
of
you know,
course.
if youngsters are watching and, you know, and they think, oh, yes, we should get involved in this. So they should know where the
They should
funding
know.
comes from.
Well, funding,
and who do they ask?
Yeah.
You know, who do they approach for this if they want to join like
Well,
you?
this project, in the past, I had a company that was funded directly by the Arts Council. That was called Moti Roti, that
That's right.
company. And that was one of the main ways I could fund projects. So we got an annual grant, and then out of that we spent the money on different projects or on different things. And the idea of that was helping lots of other people.
All right.
But I've left that. So the funding sources are difficult these days, I think, for a young person. I think there are public sources like the Arts Council or the British Council. I think there are box office returns. So a lot of projects happen if you bring an audience in, and there's a
right.
split on the
Well,
door.
it's like other shows.
Like other shows.
Like other shows.
Yeah. And the main funders of this project were the Arts Council and Sadler's Wells themselves.
right. You know, like you were mentioning Moti Roti and
Yeah.
Patli Chunni.
Yeah.
And do you find difficulty with the language? Or can you
Yeah,
speak Hindi
I can
Urdu or
I
anything?
can follow some Hindi and some Urdu, yes. But it is bad. I mean, it's interesting. You know,
Yeah.
you don't need to speak.
I mean, your topics, your name of the projects are like Wawa Girls.
Yes, it's true.
It's a Hindi
Yes, yes, yes.
and Urdu.
Yes.
Uh,
Well, the conflict is in my name. Huh? I'm called Keith Khan. So there you go.
So you
I've-
got both ways.
Yeah. But I really should. Urdu is such a beautiful language.
I'm
and
not
it is-
testing you or
No,
anything.
no, but
it's just
I'm
something do you
embarrassed
find
sometimes.
difficult?
No, I think I have enough understanding of Urdu and Hindi and some other languages, Malayalam and Tamil as well, just because I think
It's just you don't speak.
I don't speak.
All right, that's good. Well, you understand.
I
Thank God
understand
for
some
that.
bits, some bits.
And especially,
only the
when
rude words.
No, when you know Hindi culture or Urdu culture,
Yeah.
then you can design
Yes.
things. Otherwise, you wouldn't know what to
No,
do.
but I mean the culture without the languages, I can still is in me. You know,
Okay.
I still have the culture.
Have you
the-
studied about it?
Yeah, I know quite a lot
Okay.
about Indian, Pakistan, subcontinental architecture, design, clothes, jewelry, hair.
That's why you were saying you like my jewelry.
Yeah, it looks great. Yes, yes.
So it's nice. I have designed my jewelry.
Very good.
Okay, so you design jewelry as well.
No, I've never done
No.
jewelry. I've done like headpieces and things like that. for this.
Headpieces.
I did the.
No, I got my own piece.
I did the. What was the Millennium Dome?
Okay.
I did all of the designs for the show that was there when it opened with all
Yeah.
the acrobats and the aerial people. And for that we had to make very specific jewelry.
Okay.
Because obviously if you're doing these circus skills,
All right.
it's very different to wear things, and you have to do different things and all that.
So you just do the clothes design.
No, I would do, for that I did the shoes, I did like high performance sportswear.
Okay.
Because they were doing very physical things. They were ski board, stilt walking and all sorts of things that were dangerous and exciting to develop.
All right.
Technology stuff for, yeah.
So that's the first project you did.
No,
Roti
that
Roti.
was, Moti Roti was about the fourth, but the first
Fourth.
one was the Muharram project, flying
Oh.
costumes. But that's going back a very long time. That was it's last century. That's all we need to know. It was last century.
But you don't look very ancient
I
anyway.
am very ancient. Look at all the
We
grey.
are going for a short break. We'll be
Okay,
coming.
great.
Dostos, stay tuned. We will be back soon.
Dipalis for that authentic Indian vegetarian cuisine. Our expert chefs specialize in creating pure vegetarian dishes from a selection of mouth-watering snacks to tasty main meals. Dipian Cakes specialize in eggless vegetarian cakes made to order for weddings, birthdays and special occasions. Sit back and enjoy the ambience and scrumptious food served by our friendly staff at our warm 50-seater refurbished restaurant with disabled access and free car park nearby. Dipali's 1A, Alfred Road, Sparkhill, Birmingham.